Welcome to When Marriage and Purpose
Collide, the podcast.
So, babe, what is this podcast about?
Well, we have a story.
We do we?
We met online, got engaged a year later, and married 6 months after that. You know, happily ever after.
I mean, sorta. We're not perfect, but we want to give you a sneak peek on the conversations we have on a daily basis as we live life on purpose.
Whether you're single and dating with a desire for marriage, engaged, or season in your marriage.
Our discussions are centered around faith, purpose, and relationships.
Because when marriage and purpose collide, there's a new direction, new momentum that deeply impacted our lives and still does.
We're just inviting you along for the ride.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Hey, y'all.
What up?
What up? Welcome back to another episode of When Marriage and Purpose
Collide.
Yeah, we're back. So, I am Lucretia Haley. I'm speaker, author, and coach, and I am joined by my husband of 5.5 years, my lovely man of God, my rock, my ship. No,
Really?
What is it? What's your name?
Daryl. Daryl Haley, or DJ Haley. It sounds better. Father, son, gamer, postal worker.
Okay.
Utility man.
So last time we were on a podcast and they were trying to figure out what our titles were.
Oh.
And they were trying to figure out who we were. And they were like, well, are you both coaches? Or whatnot. I said, well, I'm a coach, but
She would be the designated coach.
Yeah.
I'm the tag along that's supportive.
So for those who don't know, I'm a purpose journey coach. I love helping people find and navigate and rediscover their purpose. So I'll give you more details at the closing of this show.
Yeah.
What do you call it when the thing that comes up at the end that we're going to put in there?
Credits?
Not the credits. The voice that comes on after.
Oh,
the thing.
Yeah.
So
the ending.
There you go. Y'all know it's our second episode, so bear with us.
It's fine.
Anyway, so I have the topic that we have today is, I came about this topic because I felt like it was often seen in shows, in movies, and even in books or whatever, if you read or whatnot, in situations and experiences in our lives, and I felt like it's something we should touch upon. Now, we're not like, I don't want to say we're not experts in it, but you can agree or disagree. It's more of just like how we telling you all. It's conversations we have.
Yeah, we're going through our own experience.
Yeah, experience.
Sorry.
Experiences that we've had, and just want to bring it to the forefront. So it's basically the topic of saying I love you. And saying I love you in relationships and in different seasons of relationships. So I feel like there's a lot of confusion wrapped around it. There's a lot of uproar. It's been in movies on who should say it first. If I say it, then does that person get offended if they didn't say it or whatnot? Like I was saying, I watched Married at First Sight. Whoop whoop, if anybody watched Married at First Sight. But I watched Married at First Sight, and it's crazy because these people really get married at first sight and they just met that person, and the second day they're saying I love such and such, and I'm like, do you really though?
Yeah.
You know, and I feel
it's mistaken.
It is mistaken. And I think that at times it just have to maybe be defined, or maybe they don't really know what they're feeling.
Yeah.
And so it feels like it should be love, but I don't think it's there yet.
No.
Yeah.
No. I can't be there yet. Well, they was at Love at First Sight. Mm-hmm. That's what they're trying to do. And it's like,
Yeah. It's kind of like Married at First Sight, but it's really, you're married, but you don't have to be in love.
Unless you're trying to force yourself to be like, okay, well, I'm just going to say it, and maybe I'll follow through later on. Right.
And so that's the thing. So I think there's like, I was trying to come up with the way to say it, but like 3, or what we talked about before, 3 cycles or 3 areas of love or 3 wraparounds.
Basically, there's 3 ways to kind of like separate it instead of just being one thing.
Right. And so I have like to actually say I love you, or to love, right? Then there's being in love,
Yep.
I think, and then there is also the lust factor.
Yep.
So there's three different things that we are looking at. And lust normally is wrapped around sexual desire.
Yeah.
There's other ways to lust, because you can lust after a lot of things of this life. You can lust after, money.
You have to look at the time. We'll be all right.
And so, remember to edit that.
Take it out, coach. All right.
Lust after different things, but in this specific way, we're discussing it as far as relationships.
Yeah.
And so before we begin and start talking about marriage and even going our different seasons of relationships and what that looks like with love, let's talk about us and love. Like, before we loved each other,
Right.
did you love someone, or not did you love someone before us?
Did you love somebody else?
Do you remember in a previous relationship where you actually told someone, I love you?
Yeah. I did.
Okay, go ahead.
No.
And were you in love with that person?
What they call it? Puppy love?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a such thing. It's kind of like a immature
Mm-hmm.
love, because you think it is, but it's really not. It's just
Mm-hmm.
the difference between lust and love. Or you think it's love, but it's more like,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't have to be sexual. I mean, although it says sexual, but it's more like intimacy.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Because, you just want to be on that person or around that person, or,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing is, that's basically where I was at that time. But plus it was high school. So.
I was going to ask you. I was like, you didn't go. I asked you, was there? And you didn't.
Well, I was given the
wrap. Yeah. I don't know why I keep saying the wraparound.
I don't know. I don't know what that is.
What is the wraparound?
You go and you come right back.
You come right back around. Give us the wraparound of your relationship.
You want to get a wraparound.
So you're saying it was your high school then?
Yeah, it was high school.
Oh, okay. And so that was, okay. So let me ask you just to clarify, because you didn't say it. So did you say you were you said that to that person?
Yeah.
And then did you feel like you were in love? Was what it was?
Yeah, I felt like I was, but
Mm-hmm.
over time I know the difference now.
Got you now. But
Yeah.
at the time, you felt, what made you feel at that time? What about?
More just like, I feel it in my chest kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then sometimes this is just like, is it butterflies?
I guess that's what you call butterflies, but I thought that was in the stomach or something. But that's usually, what is that, bubble guts?
That's another podcast. Butterflies or bubble guts?
Either way.
That nervous like feeling, like I want to be around that person, like that giddy feeling, like the butterflies, like the
No.
Anyway,
no.
okay, so
it wasn't that.
All right.
What about you?
Yeah, so I would say yes, and I wouldn't say it was in high school. It was after college. It was this guy I was dating, and I think, yeah, who said it? Okay, I forgot to ask you who said I love you.
Know.
Who said I love you first?
Oh, for
Yeah.
us? Oh.
No, not for us. For the person that you in high school.
Oh, me.
Okay. Always the guys. Why is it? That's another topic. Why is it always sometimes more than likely the guy that says it first?
Because usually we think, well, she's scared to say it, so let me say it first. Or maybe it's maybe if I share it first, she'll be
right.
easier to say. But that ain't the case. Usually she ain't feeling the same way.
Sometimes. So I would say it was the situation when I was in Chicago and I was dating this guy, and I remember it was like fast serious. Like it went from 1 to 10 real fast. And I think he was just focused on the future. Like I think it was more lust for him than anything. And I was just trying to understand this whole, what are you feeling? Like, what is this? I don't think I really actually loved him, but because he said it, I felt obligated to say it.
That's what I'm talking about.
And then but then I would feel at times that, we'll get off the phone with one another or we're talking, I would just say I love you, But really, did I don't.
It felt fake.
Because it was so, because the way I ended the relationship, I know. And the way I felt, peace. Like, it wasn't a true breakup. Like, it was a breakup, but it wasn't a breakup. That's how I felt. It wasn't really love to me.
Yeah.
You know, so anyway, we're going to talk about this thing and this love and the stages and what that, because I know a lot of you out there are dating. Some of you may be engaged to be married. Some of you are married listening to this, and you just want to hear what we got to say about it. We just want to talk about it. So when we think about marriage, because we want to start from marriage and then we want to work our way down. What is marriage and love? What does that consist of?
Commitment and sacrifices.
Yeah.
I know those was more like, seem like action, but it's more than that. I know it's kind of like, instead of putting yourself first, it's more like supporting and showing the other, like, okay, I'm gonna see how you feeling, how you doing things, and if you don't like what I'm doing, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of, there's different levels. I don't want to like skip on ahead, so I'm gonna let her explain. But there's different levels, because I know with marriage love is, I know it's not the same as when I was single.
Right. And when you were dating,
or when I was dating, or definitely when I was
even
engaged.
when we weren't dating. Like that, I think it's different levels of love.
Oh yeah.
That we experience because of what we've gone through.
Yeah.
What we've been through.
Oh yeah.
Like in marriages that have been 30 years, like, you know, my parents or whatnot, there's different levels of love that you have to go through. And there's different stages of what in love like. Because you can love that person, but you don't gotta like that person at that time. From what I'm seeing. Now sometimes, well, I guess sometimes I don't like you sometimes, but then I fall out of that and then I get back in.
But I think that's where the kind of like where the compromise comes in, and the sacrifice, because eventually where you're saying, oh, you know, I don't like that person, and you continue on not liking that person, and you always hear, oh, I fell out of love with them. At some point that
out of love.
Yeah, at some point that whoever the other person was that fell out of love basically just stopped sacrificing and giving, and you know.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I don't want to do none of that with you.
Right.
And eventually it just.
And it's that foundation, it's that root.
Yeah.
Right. And I believe that what marriage does and what we've experienced is that a lot of dying to self.
Yeah.
It's like our flesh desires always wants us to be against one another and cause conflict.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times I can cause conflict easy. But I choose not to. Because why? You know, what's that going to help?
Yeah.
You know, and the conflicts are around us. There's a lot of things that we got to go through. Why would I let my flesh put me in that predicament and put you in that predicament to where we got to be at one another?
Yeah.
Right? So I think what happens is it teaches you, what love teaches you to sacrifice. Because you don't know it. In our first year, we didn't know what love was like that.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's the stage of that. So we talked about marriage. Let's talk about maybe somebody who's engaged. They're about to be married.
Yeah.
What is love, being in love, like for that person? Or them, the couple? What was it like for us?
Well, I'd say that the love is still the same as being in a serious relationship. But it's more that anxiety and everything that y'all discussed beforehand, or maybe not. It depends on the relationship. But it's kind of like, oh, I'm engaged to this person. It's about to be forever. And that it's like I'm willing and ready to do anything and everything for that person. That kind of love. But at the same time, very anxious. It's the
anxious and it's the hope.
Yeah.
Because you hope that you will love, like you said, love this person forever. But then you're like, how am I going to love them? I can't wait.
Yeah.
To love this person the way I want to love you when I get married.
Oh, you know, I just thought about that. It's kind of like a different kind of freedom from marriage and then engagement, because when you're engaged, you still have that uncertainty in a way.
Yeah, because you still don't have to get married.
Yeah, it still can fall. I mean, even with marriage, but when you're married, it's no longer that that shackle of, well, I'm with them. I don't have to worry no more. I don't have to worry about all these things, especially if y'all have that discussion and everything like that going on.
Yeah. So no, that's good. I like that. And then for us, I think it was that anticipation.
Yeah.
Like you just feel like I can't wait because we didn't live together.
Yep.
And because we,
I think the anxious and uncertain for me was more like the living situation because of that. It's like 2 different apartments. I'm doing something that I usually never do. And I'm basically going into the unknown, but because I love you so much, it's like I'm willing to do it.
Right. So let's talk about those who are just dating, maybe seriously dating somebody. It hasn't reached engagement, but they're at a point to where they're just maybe been dating and they made a commitment to one another, kind of like how we did. After 4 or 5 months, I think that's when you told me you wanted to be in a relationship. So. And that's when it became serious for us. Is that a possibility that love can arise?
Oh yeah.
In a serious.
During dating,
and what does that look like? How does lust fog it? Because you're now seriously dating. You're not just talking to that person online. You're not just seeing that person every so often. Like you really like this person. When does it evolve?
Okay, so basically
I'm sorry, I got a lot of questions.
Right,
sorry, my bad.
Well, we got to separate all three. It can't be all together.
Go
ahead. You got seriously dating, and singleness.
Yeah, I guess you could do that. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So basically with singleness, you get kind of like the battle of lust and love. Now, you don't have to love that person, but most likely you can confuse lust for love.
Which is what probably I did. Actually, you know what? In that situation when I was dating that guy.
Yeah.
And probably when I dated other guys too, but when I dated that guy, it was lust.
Yeah.
It was more lustful than anything.
I wouldn't know, but yes.
No, I'm just saying you're confirming, but yeah.
And then with dating, it still kind of travels through, but at least with dating, you're going out with this person, is that love can build and flourish, and where you're finding out things more, things about them. Of course, you find out red flags about them too.
Right.
And that's when that love can
build there. Grow.
Yeah. And then when you're seriously dating, you're basically just saying it now.
When did you know, for us, that you love me? And and was there a difference being in love versus love for you?
I think it's difference between man and woman when it comes to that.
Oh, let's talk about that.
All right.
Say more.
So why you say more? From my end, it was more of trust. Yeah.
Trust for
that I can trust you.
Okay. Oh, you could trust me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, I could trust you with
your love.
Trust me with your love. I don't know what song that is, but it sounds.
That could be a hit.
It could be a hit.
We could make a hit.
But yeah, basically, love, my feelings, like the whole time I was talking to you, the whole time, you didn't like throw it back in my face, nothing like that. It's just certain things that you did that was like, okay, I can say it.
You just felt peace.
Exactly. It's the same thing when I said with marriage. It's the same way that if a man feels like I don't have to worry about her using anything against me or anything like that, and actually she's helping me, and not in a way like forcing or nothing like that. It's easier for a man to do that.
Should a man, because we're told, and we know that men are supposed to be leaders,
right?
Or they're leaders. It should be ingrained in them to lead. But regardless of the fact, since they're leaders, should a man be the first one to say it in a relationship?
No,
since they're leading, then they should be leading in the. Yeah,
but he don't have to.
Okay.
We ain't in them kind of times no more.
I have to show my love for you.
And plus, what I've been hearing, chivalry's dead. So anyway, that's whole different
chivalry
thing.
ain't dead.
I know, that's
you just find chivalry. But anyway, go ahead. But no, so you saying no?
No, he don't have to be the first one to say it. But I know it's harder for for both ends. But I know it's harder for a woman to do that, especially if she's uncertain if he's going to say it back.
Got you.
It's usually common for the man to say it though.
And I think women, because, and we see it in movies and in shows, because we haven't heard it from the guy, and we want to see where the relationship is going, and we feel that it's serious, and they didn't said to us that it's, oh yeah, I want to be with you, so why are you saying I love you? Then I'm gonna say it first, kind of thing. So then we rush to the I love you, and then the guy don't say it, and then you like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't put myself and my life on the line basically to say this, and it was hard for me to even say it. I was anticipating the moment, and all I get was okay, bye. So it's kind of like that's the dynamic, I guess, that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
In that, on who should say it first. I mean, there's really no cookie cutter way, but it's just it's just, I guess, whenever you feel. I think for me, when you told me, because you actually told me I love you, right?
There was a whole setup with that.
We don't, yeah.
Yeah.
Watch our previous videos on the YouTube, and you'll be able to see. But yeah, when you first told me is when I realized that I felt loved.
Yeah.
I don't think I actually knew it until you said it.
Oh,
okay, sorry. I didn't know to say I love you back.
Okay.
I knew I was loved.
Yeah.
I felt loved, and I knew that I loved you. I just didn't say it out loud. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's the thing too. We didn't say it out loud. I knew it wasn't lust because I knew you were first my brother in Christ before anything, and we were respecting each other's boundaries. And so I tried not to cross those boundaries and even think that way, so that I could be able to make our relationship holy.
Yeah.
You know. So
I think that was the biggest thing, is that we took lust out the picture, and basically just focus on basically our own spiritual walk plus relationship.
Yeah. So I think that's what happens too, is if your lust clouds your judgment. Lust basically clouds your judgment. So if you feel that the person is attractive, you think you like everything they're doing, you're picturing and imagining a future with them, of course your mind's going to go there, and you're going to automatically think, well, the next step is to love them.
Yep.
And so you place yourself in love without actually having those feelings of love. And then you start to move about life. And then you think about the Bible. In 1 Corinthians 13:4, it shares and Paul talks about what love actually is. Yeah. So when you think about a relationship, and you think about starting a relationship or even dating, or maybe you're single, you're like, okay, read the scripture. Do you feel that way for that person yet?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As a friend first. Because really we're supposed to be having friendships before we even get there, right? That's a whole nother topic again.
Yeah.
But really, we're supposed to be having friendships.
That don't mean put them in the friend zone.
Not friend zone, friendships.
God,
I know.
Yeah.
I gotta stop talking to you because they said on the podcast that you're supposed to
I
be
gotta
a friend.
put you in a friend.
Like, who's this podcast? Like,
no, I ain't saying put them in the friend zone.
But if they're not showing that sacrifice or whatever that is as a friend, then is that love? Or are you just attracted to that person, attracted to their ways, and just see the future with them and see what you can possibly hold with them and make this whole fantasy of them? So I think that's really my advice as we end it, because we got to start closing. Yeah. So what was your advice for couples or for anybody struggling with
love?
Yeah, like love stuff.
I think the biggest thing is probably take care of what you got going on, because some people have a hard time even trying to show that kind of love, because you got introverts, extroverts, trauma, that kind of stuff. Find healing first.
Yeah, so you know what love looks like.
That's
good.
Because some people don't know what that is. So
that's a whole nother, yes.
So even if you're good and know how to love, that other person that you're messing with or talking to or whatnot.
What's saying messing with?
I'm sorry.
You shouldn't be messing with nobody.
Don't be messing with nobody.
You ain't married. Okay, go ahead.
Talking to, dating, whatever, friends, you should have patience with them.
Gotcha.
Now, I'm not saying if they just doing all kind of, red flags and wherever you drop them, I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about the ones that actually have potential. You have to have patience for them when it comes to that, because they may not know what it is to love.
Teach me. What's Music Soul Child? What do you say? Teach me how to love.
I think so, yeah.
There was a whole teach me how to love where we was like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm just going to have to teach you how to love me.
Yeah, see, that sounds
That's
crazy. That sounded crazy.
But sometimes you have to learn how to love. And you're doing it, it takes practice.
Oh.
And learn how to be loved. Some people don't know how to accept the love.
Yeah, I think, I know we're closing, but that was another thing.
Go ahead.
I think people have to realize that you have to show them, just like you said, you have to show them the things that what you like, because you probably expect them to start, loving you a certain way, but they don't know how to do that because they're not you.
Mm-hmm. Your expectations.
Yeah,
you probably have higher expectations on that part. You saying?
Conversation. Just communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got something coming out about that too.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, thank you, babe.
No problem.
For sharing your thoughts on this lovely podcast. Thank you all for listening and watching. Hope you got some good nuggets out of this conversation. Again, it's just us talking. So share in the comments what you think. Saying I love you first, saying I love you, period. In different stages
let me know.
of your relationship. And thank you so much for watching. Peace.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to When Marriage and Purpose Collide, the podcast, with your hosts, DJ and Lucretia. And we hope you enjoyed our conversation and advice. If you enjoyed the episode and you'd like to support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To catch the latest, you can follow Lucretia M. Haley, that's Lucretia M. Haley, on Instagram, and subscribe to Cree Speaks Life on YouTube. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.